In today's video, we're going to be showing you the wonderful flowers that we saw at Pigeon Forge, Tennessee on our trip there. You'll also see what was happening by the river, as well as a little bit of the flowers and activity at the mini golf course. And if this is your first time here, my name is Marlene. Welcome to Marlene's How-Tos, my home and garden channel. So my family and I, we decided to take a trip up to Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. And it was just a wonderful ride going on up. We drove for a few hours. And it actually reminded us a little bit of the rural areas of Jamaica, the way the roads were winding, as well as, some of the greenery that we saw up there. And it was a wonderful, relaxing trip. Of course, we saw the beautiful old mill. And right next to it, we had all of the wonderful flowers that you're seeing right here. These are some gorgeous petunias in the hanging baskets. And the whole stretch going all the way up along the river, they had, like little window baskets that were there. And you could just see all of the wonderful flowers that were there. Of course, we were fascinated by the old mill and all the stories that were behind it. Very historic. And just to give you a closer look at what was in each of these window box containers. Right here, you'll see they had some beautiful petunias. They had geraniums, that striking orange looking color there. They had vinca, those red ones, and these beautiful petunias here as well. And they also had sweet alyssum. And so it was just like a medley in each of these little containers that they had hanging off to the side. And I thought they were so beautiful. So we made our way further along down the river. And of course, you can see quite a few geese were there. And for some reason, they started to make their way over to us one by one. This was the first brave one here. He slowly came over, he or she slowly came over and made way to us. And as you can see, there are other birds flying around, and it was just looking so calm and serene. And we absolutely enjoyed it. And this is actually a great way to start your trip off if you're not in a hurry to go to the other, amusement attractions that are there, just to unwind after a flight in, or if you drove in, like we did for a few hours. It's just good to just kind of unwind this way and take in all of what is going on around you. So this little guy here came by. We didn't have any bread. I guess they're probably used to that happening because he came all the way over. And not only that, we also saw some other, birds there. We saw some ducks. Look at these right here, just swimming along so casually. I guess they're really used to interacting with humans because they just kept coming over and they came so close. We thought that was really, really nice. And you can see some feet paddling under the water there. This is just so nice. The weather was actually cool there that day. We had, unusually low temperature. But regardless, this is a really nice way to cool off, when the weather is warm. Just looking at them doing all of that makes you get that kind of a feeling. And if you're liking this video so far, guys, we have a lot of flowers coming, so stay tuned for that. We just wanted to give you a little taste of what we saw here, just to give you an idea what happens along the river and, just how it supports wildlife and all of that if you are a nature lover yourself. And speaking of that, looking over here, we saw this mother duck and her little duckling very close to us here as well. And they were not, disturbed. They were not surprised. They were just quite casually sitting there and just looking out. And I thought that was so adorable. And you can see over here the other ones, they kept coming over. First it was one, and then there were more of them coming over. Again, they're quite relaxed with us. Just look at what they're doing there, guys. This is just so cool, I thought. So if you're a bird lover, you like to watch birds, then this is a good place to go to get some of that done. And of course, I just thought this was such a wonderful sight that you're seeing here. So now we're going to go ahead and take a look at the flowers that were growing around the Old Mill area. The Old Mill Road is a good place to go to see lots of things there. So there were some beautiful coneflowers. This one looks like a close relative of the pink ones that you saw a moment ago. And these flowers are, they're perennial. They go down in the winter and then they come back up in the springtime. And as you know, I love coneflowers. I did a recent video on those, giving you all the ins and outs on how to grow them and care for them. So, and I will link that at the end for you so that you will get to see that. And here are some more, and they're so gorgeous. You know, these flowers are just great for beginners. You know, if you're just new to it, you can see that this can just beautify a whole garden for you. You don't have to put anything else. You got these in, you are pretty much good to go. You can see those striking colors right there. And then over here, this one is a slightly different variety. You notice that the petals are a little more narrow, so there's a lot of gaps between them, which I had not seen that type before. So I thought that was really, really, cute to see. Take a closer look right there. And now look at these. I had never seen this one before either. Very unusual coneflower. There are a lot more of the ray flowers on this one than the disc flowers, and I did explain what those are in the coneflower video. When you check that out, you will see what I mean when I say ray and disc flowers. But they're just so beautiful how they come together. Great to attract butterflies to your garden. It's still early in the season, and it was early in the morning, so we hadn't seen too much of those yet. And here we have some beautiful coleus, also called Joseph coat in many areas, like Joseph coat of many colors, and you can see why. And these plants, it's more about the leaves, honestly, than the flowers that they produce, because the flowers are tiny, but with these gorgeous leaves, it's pretty satisfying. And right here, there was a ladybug there, and they say ladybugs are, a sign of good luck. And I thought, okay, I guess it worked. Oh my goodness, because we felt so lucky to find them. It was just gorgeous. And here's a volunteer poppy that grew right there. So over here now is more coleus, this bright striking red one here growing among some sun patience to the left. And here's some other ones here as well too. And you also see that unusual color one, like a chartreuse and burgundy to the left up there. Never seen that one before. And here we have some beautiful pentas, those red ones right there up to the top. And the gardener was just putting out some fresh flowers, some new ones for the garden. So these are going to fill out very nicely in the next few weeks or so. And, we had a little conversation there, and he told me that he had been there for over 20 years planting flowers, and that some of them, came back year after year. Of course, these are annuals right here. But, so many of them over the years, they would keep coming back. And of course, this is just a wonderful job to have. I thought, this has to be something that is really, really relaxing and enjoying to do on a daily basis. And this is one of the pentas right here, like I mentioned earlier. These are the nice red ones. And you've seen me do videos before on the pink ones that I grow sometimes. And they're absolutely gorgeous and so striking. And over here we have a lonesome lily right there, unusual color. Hadn't seen that one before. And of course, more coneflowers coming up right there. And over here we have the sun patience. Such a beautiful color, I thought. That's more like a fuchsia shade. And they love sun, but they can also survive in part shade, as you're seeing right here. So good choice, if you're thinking of something for those parts of your home. More coneflowers over here again. And next we move on to this. This is called straw flower. And I think it is so gorgeous. It's a tender perennial depending on where you live. So in some areas it may come back for you, but for the most part, they don't. You have to plant new ones each spring. And look at that red one, how gorgeous it is. The flower heads, they start out very compact, and then over time as they open up, they get larger. So of course, it's very, very beautiful when you put them together. And of course, they remind us a lot too of the coneflowers that you just saw there. So now we're going to go ahead and take a look at some of the shade plants. And over here we have some oxalis, also called shamrock in some areas. And there are so many varieties right here. Some were just, all with that burgundy color. Some of them were all green, and so many different variations in between. So I thought that was really nice. And they produce those pretty little delicate pink flowers. And of course, since we're talking about shade gardens, of course, that you're going to see fern. And these are looking like leather leaf, I think leather leaf fern. And, they all just came together so nicely for that area. So I just thought it was so beautiful to take a look at all of that. And down here, something that you don't see very often is a different type of celosia. This nice fluffy headed one here. Very, very beautiful. I've had some in the past, but they were a lot taller than these. So this is more of a one that was a little bit lower. And there's one of the pink pentas, like the one that I planted previously and that I have in my garden right now at home. Over here, these are called Japanese painted fern. And, you don't see these very often, very unusual, that kind of deep colored vein in the center there. And they had some hostas, of course, in the shaded area, and those are blooming. And hummingbirds actually love those. So that's a good choice, for your garden if you're wanting to get some shade plants. Here's another variety of the hostas as well. And these are, they come back each year. Over here, this is a replica of the Milan painting on the wall. As you can see, there's a little fountain right there. It has moss over on there, and moss has its place too. It can be beautiful, especially for people who like fairy tale gardens and all of that kind of a thing. That really will get a nice kind of setting if you are looking for something like that. So I thought it was a cute little setup in this corner here, and I know more flowers are going to be put down there once he is finished. A very nice gentleman to our family. And over here are the poppies, and it was very very significant when we were there, because we were there on Memorial Day weekend, which of course is in honor of the veterans who have gone on before. Remember the service that they gave. And of course, the poppy is a symbol of that all over the world, as far as I know. And you can see here that they had some beautiful red ones, which typically is the most common type that we see, but of course here you have different colors. That one's more like a salmon color. And these are kind of like considered to be wildflowers in many areas. You can sow them just as seeds each year, and they come up and they fill out the area very, very nicely. And again, you have different colors for them, because we also saw some pink ones as well too, just light colored pink ones, which I'd never really seen before, like this little one right here. You typically just see the red ones. You can see the seed heads are forming on there as well too. Very, very beautiful. Also, what you're seeing there too is those yellow ones, and those are actually, the gardener told me that these are actually called California poppies. And surprisingly enough, when I came back home and I visited the dollar store, they had quite a few of those seed packets in there. So of course, I got some. So I'm probably not going to do those this year, but I'm certainly going to try them for next year. So, God willing, you'll get to see what those look like. But I thought this area was so nice. It was right in front of where they do the Old Mill pottery, and they have the Old Mill restaurant there. They have the creamery. You can get all different flavors of ice cream. So a lot, was happening in that area. Very busy. They also do metal work, stone work, all of those things, and you can get actively involved and participate in those things as well. So this is me here hanging on by these lovely, beautiful pastel colors. And this was looking to me like larkspur. And they had some lantanas in the pots there as well too. And the roses here were not blooming yet, but I'm sure they're going to be coming up very soon. You can see how beautiful these are. They actually had these leading up to Dollywood. They had these in the median in the rural highway there, and they were just absolutely gorgeous. And I'm sure they'll probably sow more afterwards, so that way they'll keep coming for this season. These were some hardy hibiscus, but it looks like they were kind of having some kind of pest on them, so I imagine they're going to take care of that really soon. But I just thought these were so pretty, because I typically don't see these in my area, and it was just something that was a little unusual for me. Very beautiful color. And guys, if you like flowers and gardening, I do hope that you will hit the subscribe button and tap the notification bell, because I do a lot of that on my channel. And over here, what I noticed is that there's a lot of blue-green evergreens there. So gorgeous and very unusual. They have the creeping Jenny right there, and more evergreen right here. And now it's time to go to the mini golf course. And over at this one here, they colored the water blue, I guess to give it that more dramatic look, because it is one of those kind of like a dragon fantasy park. They had some beautiful gladiolas here, some nice yellow ones, and these were just coming out. And some of them are, they plant them in series, so that way you'll have, something blooming all the time, by way of the gladiolas. You plant some deeper, or you plant them earlier, so something is always there. And then it was off to play some of the golf, or some the mini golf, or putt-putt golf as you call it. This was my son here, taking a shot at one of the holes. We did the 18 holes right there. And that was a almost. And then the tree, look at how they made it there. It's so unusual. And the bear, they just had these little garden statuaries out there among the flowers. Here they had some canna. This is a gladiolus, but they had the canna behind it. So those are going to be popping, like as you get more into the summer. And right here, look at these. This is pyrrhea. And I'm told that these actually help to keep aphids off from your garden. So those are gorgeous. And of course, you have the calla lilies right there. So I thought that was an excellent combination. So I thought, you know what? Maybe I should try doing that for my garden. But I don't see a lot of these in my area, I must say. But I certainly I'm willing to give it a try. I may have to order those on the catalog or check for their hardiness zones. And there's a lot of fun to be had. The kids, they had a good time there, going round and round and all the different activities that are there. So, there's fun for everyone there. Great outdoors. Also time to relax, which we did quite a bit of that as well too. You got to do that every now and then. And so, of course, more of the ducks and the birds. We went back there to watch them again and see what they were up to. And it was just so wonderful to see. So if you're a nature lover, I'm hoping that, you really enjoyed this video and that it gave you some wonderful ideas, as to maybe somewhere you can go to or some flowers that you can get for your home. And I just like the fact that everything was really lined out along here. So once you walk along the whole stretch there, everything that you need is there. The flowers, the wildlife, the mill, the whole history behind it. And of course, the restaurants that a lot of people go to there. And people will be willing to stop and tell you stories. They had a lot of souvenir shops. I got a nice sign for my porch, which you'll see on my upcoming summer porch collaboration video, so stay tuned for that. So I thank you so much for watching. Happy gardening and enjoy the rest of your day. Take care.